Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice, as we're about to head into our second qualifying match here for the tournament, or at least bracket number 2, of course, as it will be Elazer going up against HeroMarine to find out who qualifies alongside you, Thermal. With me on the desk, it's going to be Rotterdam, and we have Tasteless and, of course, Todd down the line as well. What do you think about this match, guys? Elazer going up against HeroMarine, a guy in HeroMarine that has been steadily on the rise, whereas Elazer, obviously that 4th place at BlizzCon last year, doing very well for himself as well.
He had his best year ever last year and really became one of those players that we've come to expect big things out of in the StarCraft scene, whereas HeroMarine, a little bit more inconsistent, had a very deep run over in Montreal. And other than that, hasn't really done much. So on paper, I think Elazer should be a favorite, but HeroMarine is not somebody that you can count out. If he's playing as well as he was playing over in Montreal, he could go very far actually in this tournament.
I think Elazer is a great player, but we were just casting him a little bit ago, Roddy, and there are definitely some points in time where it seems like he can be pressured pretty well by Terran. He did make some plays where it just seemed like he overextended a little bit too much. So I think HeroMarine definitely has a shot.
Yeah, I think so as well, especially in this matchup. However, the best game from Elazer was definitely the last one. Belcher Vestige is not an easy map at all for Zerg, but he played it perfectly. Spoke a little bit with Dashi about the matchup as well, and he's like, no, Elazer was very good on Belcher. He's like, he did pretty much everything right. So it should be a very fun and close competitive series.
All right, well, I'm getting word actually that we already do have the game ready and good to go. So without further ado, let's head over to the casters as we see if HeroMarine or Elazer can advance on to the group stage for the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice.
G'day guys, welcome back. We're getting into the thick of it here for our second and final group of players in the open bracket here of IEM Katowice. We got ourselves my favorite matchup, TVZ, HeroMarine versus Sansa, to see who qualifies along with you, Thermal. And then we'll have our third player coming from the losers bracket. Peg, what are your predictions here for this one?
Oh, dude. I'm excited, man. Dude. Honestly, I think Elazer is going to kill it because I think Elazer is overall a bit better rounded than HeroMarine. Even though HeroMarine's good, I think he plays a little bit too standard, and he's going to let Elazer get inside his comfort zone. So I really think, you know, before we saw Elazer flounder a little bit under the pressure that Sol was putting on him, I think HeroMarine really needs to try and do the same thing to make things work out for him. But we are going to be diving into map number 1. Take it away, Maynard.
Oh, if you insist, Pig. In the top left here, this, the Polish Zerg, is Elazer. Very young player as well. I think he just turned 18 last year.
Yeah, he's really just had such a rise to prominence. And of course, another young player down here, but a veteran of the scene who's been around since forever. Still representing Mouse Esports, it is HeroMarine. Loves to stream his gameplay, he commentates a lot while he's streaming. He's always like swapping between German and English commentary. He's been kind of rocking up to Home Story Cup, playing EPS for 4 or 5 years now. And last year he finally got that top 4 in a big tournament. And even though he's kind of saying, you know, I'm focusing on my studies right now, he's still playing so damned well. So I'm definitely not counting HeroMarine out.
No, but you bring up a very good point where when we were going up with Elazer versus Sol, I'm like, yeah, Elazer has a mental block in ZvT, but I just feel like he's just that much better than Sol that he'll win anyway with just better mechanics, better decision making in the end. But Sol, with that crazy 3-rack Reaper on this map, actually did a fantastic job against Elazer and picked him apart. But if HeroMarine plays standard, I feel like Elazer is absolutely going to be prepared against that.
Now this is cool. HeroMarine's opening up with the 1-racks. Like, you get the delayed gas, you get the CC, and you just open up with Marines to try to catch the first Overlord, and then you still get a very fast factory. So this is like the kind of greedy Hellion opening where you're like, you know what, I'm just not going to scout with a Reaper at all. I don't think he bothered SCV scouting, so he's just going to rush up to Hellions and also try and limit Elazer's scouting. This is something which was a lot more popular early on in Legacy of the Void, but HeroMarine is one of those few players who's still hanging on to it.
Now, we got the Overlord hit squad here. A couple Marines going to chase this Overlord, and they should be able to get it.
That's so annoying for Elazer, because think about this. When this goes down, where's his second Overlord? It's way off on the left side of the map. It can't get an angle to sacrifice into the main base. That other Overlord just has no way to get there. So Elazer's going to have to rely purely on Zerglings poking the front, or he'll have to go Zergling speed. But since he's already pulled off gas, it's clearly not going to be that. So he's going to be in the dark a little bit.
plus the added benefit of the supply block, of course. Losing your very first Overlord is a pretty huge hit, to be honest, in the beginning of ZvT. So we have the Hellion switch up here for HeroMarine, natural all done and dusted. And the Hellions start to pump out. So yeah, I mean, Elazer won't get to have a look at this natural for a while here until the Lings come up and poke, and that's so dangerous. I mean, it depends how many he wants to commit. You usually just have a couple running around the map here.
No extra queens on the way yet as well. I guess like the impact of that early Overlord going down is, yeah, you are a little bit low on minerals, and Elazer wants to focus on droning very hard, but yeah, only now does that third queen start. So, definitely, you know, slowing down his opening a little bit. Hellions are already out on the map, and they're going to run into Zerglings right at the top of the hedge, but they do manage to blast these Zerglings down. Zergling speed just kicks in. Elazer does manage to escape with all 4 of those. Got to try and get them out of there to keep some presence on the map. And instantly a Roach Warren in a second. Gas goes down at home for Elazer. I love this reaction. I really do think, you know, a lot of Zerg players just sitting back defending with Queens and Zerglings are letting the Hellion player get control of the pace of the game. But if you go out, you just make maybe 6 or 7 Roaches and Ravages, you can push across the map, and if the Terran isn't on top of their game, they can just fall apart. They can just lose their natural.
Absolutely. It's the same thing. The Roach Ravager follow-up is so strong against a Hellion opening. I mean, if you 2-on-1 or something like that, you're a little bit better because you have the bio, you can have the benefit of bunkers, static defense, that kind of thing. You usually have siege tanks as well. But when you're straight Hellion, you're not going to have anti-Roach Ravager countermeasures for a while. Hellions suck against Roaches and Ravagers. A couple of links coming in here. They do get in the main and have a look-see. But he just confirms what he already knows here.
Third command center into multiple barracks coming down. Delayed starport for now for HeroMarine. And he does see the double eBay as well. So this is a very greedy build from HeroMarine. And we see it. Zerglings in production. Elazer wants to go for broke. He says, "Nuh-uh, I'm not letting you get away with that."
Yeah.
His Roaches are going to start to rally out across this map. Interestingly, sending them out along the southern side of the map, looking like he really wants to hide this push. HeroMarine needs to scout this. But the other path is so far away, and his Hellions are nowhere near scouting that right now.
Wow. Yeah, and it looks like he's going to come up to the third. Maybe when he sees that there's no drones there, he might get a little bit concerned.
Oh, Zerglings are surrounding those Hellions. They actually grab them.
Ooh.
And just a few Zerglings on that own that might...
That's all the scouting.
Oh, does HeroMarine realize? No,
he doesn't.
No,
that's what I'm saying. He denied all the scouting. So HeroMarine is completely unawares here of this huge attack from Elazer, and stuff's looking very, very bad here for the German Terran as the Polish third comes a knocking.
He's got to pull into his main base. That's the only way he hangs on here. He needs to buy time for Stim. He cannot fight on this low ground. There we go. He's evacuating as quickly as he possibly can. He needs to hold this ramp. He needs to get those depots up as well. He's keeping Hellions alive, which does make it harder for the Zerglings to break the ramp. Drones and evolution chambers are going down behind this for Elazer. Elazer looking like he doesn't want to risk trying to just force his way up here. He just wants to pick away at the wall if he can.
Even keeping the Lings out of this and just using the Ravagers to poke at this wall seems like a really good move here. Oh, there's a third CC here with some mules, fresh drop mules down here. He's going to easy peasy gobble those up, and down they go. And he's just got the double Evo and dropping up.
Wow, HeroMarine, very decisive move out there. Is going to catch a lot of these units. Is he going to be able to push it back? It looks like there might just be slightly too much Zerg. Oh, with the medevac healing, it's very close. Just a few Roaches and a Ravager are left. Looks like the Marine Reinforce will be able to break out. And now HeroMarine will be able to reestablish his 3 bases. But at the end of that, Elazer has droned up very hard. He's up at 56 workers versus just 36 drones.
And that's a pretty huge difference at this point in the game in ZvZ. Not even 6.5 minutes yet already with a 20 worker lead is Elazer. Third, nice and saturated. Looking real good here as he gets up into the mid game. And HeroMarine going to go for a counterattack. How many units has Elazer got? Not any.
Yeah.
Just Queens.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit misleading to say, oh, look, there's, 25 drone lead. Because Elazer doesn't really have any tech out just yet, right? His Lair's just going down, his Baneling Nest is going down, his upgrades are a little bit behind, but he can just pump out units and focus on creep spread now. So if Elazer can just not take damage from any drops and do,
nice
lovely moves like that, that's just so good. If he just let HeroMarine mine from there, he might get back in the game quickly, but just cutting off more mules is so important.
Yeah, very nicely played here by HeroMarine. Looks like he's going to get a cancel here on the 4th hatchery if he target fires. Doesn't look like he does, though. He actually engaged the Lings there. The hatchery will continue for now. Not enough units from HeroMarine to reinforce this. 1-1 about to finish for Elazer. Looks like it's already done for the Terran, though. Armory on the way, so we can get 2-2 very quickly as well. So getting an upgrade lead for the Terran's very nice against Zerg. You don't generally see that. Lings coming around the outside here, looking for another run by at this third. Left very naked here for HeroMarine, making some Banelings as well.
Elazer looking like he wants to go for this Infestation Pit play again. He really has been favoring Ravager, Ling Bane up into the Ultras. doesn't quite get that mule.
4 hit point mule.
Oh, man.
Feels bad, man.
But look at this. The supply has actually equalized very close between both the players. Their upgrades are pretty much tied neck and neck right now.
Very close.
Both players very even. A nice little Ling run by going to come in here for Elazer. Picks off a few Marines. Does have to get on out of there.
Looks like Baneling's got a bunch of workers there. 7 SCVs just went down.
Nice.
Nice.
Good moves from Elazer there.
And Hive on the way for Elazer. Very quick Hive. 2-2 on the way. Making a couple more Banelings for another run by. Link's coming in again. This is so annoying for HeroMarine.
Yeah.
I feel just a bunker at the third will circumnavigate a lot of this problem he's been having. There it is. Attaboy.
And this is it's the pressure and the psychological impact of all these run-bys as well. It makes it so hard for HeroMarine to judge where he's at in the game because he's not able to put pressure on Elazer. He has no idea how far across the map the creep is. He doesn't know how greedy Elazer's being, where Elazer's economy is at, and it just becomes so hard to judge his exact position. Once again, Ling run by into the main and the natural while those Banelings tried to run into the third. The Banelings didn't get any damage this time, but the Zerglings are tearing apart the SCV lines.
Absolutely, and that worker lead that HeroMarine's been struggling with in this game is just deepened as Elazer does more and more damage. At the natural in the third, the bunker is empty, not really helping out a HeroMarine right now. The SCVs evacuating, 22 SCVs and counting going down here for the Terran player. Nearly 30 SCVs killed. Elazer shooting ahead in this game, and he's ahead in tech as well with the Hive just about to finish.
Elazer looking so good here,
God.
taking control of the pace, and the moment there's no pressure on Elazer, he just suddenly becomes
Still the
this
medevac.
absolute multitasking beast. He's just shutting down everything HeroMarine tries to do, and I mean, just psychologically, this is such a big win for Elazer. HeroMarine's got to be feeling like he's just getting pulled this way, pulled that way, punched in the face, and everything he's doing is getting shut down. So Elazer here really just taking control of the pace of the game.
So Elazer's going to have Ultralisk soon, and HeroMarine is going to have Marines. That's what we're looking at right now.
Well, you know, Chitinous plating has one less armor now, so may not.
Yeah, absolutely.
They'll
right
still
thing.
do 3 damage a shot.
I'm sorry. Yeah, the Marines don't actually heal Ultralisks anymore. They now do 1 damage. So, very, very nice for Elazer. Great situation, to say the least. I mean, a third is having to be relocated here for HeroMarine. Coming out, he's on creep, though. Just be careful, the Marines. Oh, big connection with the Banelings, and he has to pick up and leave.
Yeah, gets about 3 Marines out of there. Clickbait coming in from behind.
GG. Oh, that smirk.
Yeah, Elazer just, he just took control of the game. Went across with that Roach Ravager's Zergling pressure, did great damage with it. And I think HeroMarine, he kind of stabilized from there. But then we just saw Elazer just say, you know what? Damn. Banelings on the natural, Zerglings coming in from here, just constantly poking from multiple angles, and suddenly it just got completely out of control, and HeroMarine was just dead.
Elazer models his play off of Dark. Dark is his idol.
Yeah.
And rightfully so. Dark is an incredible Zerg player. But that game looked a lot more like how Dark plays ZvT.
Yeah.
Non-stop third base run-bys with those Lings, getting into the production, getting into the natural, splitting those Lings off, and just picking apart the Terran at 3 or 4 places at once.
It's such beautiful play. And when you're in control of the pace, I mean, it makes such a big difference in this matchup. So I feel like HeroMarine, he did a pretty good job of stabilizing there, but he needed to just lock down that third base in the next few minutes after he'd first defended the pressure. And who knows, maybe if he scouts those Roaches coming a little bit earlier with the Hellions, maybe he actually kind of realizes, gets a bunker up or 2 at the front. If he kind of holds onto his natural and deflects that very first Ravager Link pressure, that game looks completely different. You know, Elazer's way further behind, and suddenly HeroMarine could have turned that around. So HeroMarine looked quite resilient at first, but there was just that tipping point, and then Elazer ran away with that game so quickly.
Yeah, that one snowballed. We're going to go to the boys at the desk real quick and see what's happening with the other games that they may have and what they think of this game.
Thank you very much, guys. Of course, we do have other games going on at the moment, and we can check in now with Rotterdam, who currently has sort of versus Zanster, which is already into game number 2.
The Battle of the North.
The Battle of the North.
The Northern Zergs. Yes, it is. Game number 2, however, just started, so there isn't really all that much that I can show you guys right now. Zergling speed is being researched over here for Zenster, who is down 0-1. The very first map was played on Cactus Valley. Zenster took some economic damage, was forced to make an awkward Roach Bane attack, but sort of had more. He had more workers, he had more units, pushed it back, and eventually sealed the deal. So sort of, even though he had a very rocky start in this tournament, losing his first series against Pili Pili, rather surprising. He's on a run. He's still running in that lower bracket.
Yeah, it definitely is. So good stuff there. And then, of course, we did have Todd getting the conclusion of Daishi versus Sol. Anything that you can tell us about that second game?
It was pretty even. Soul actually expanded a little bit earlier, and like not much was happening up to the point they started dropping. And Daishi, with one of the drops, just did way too much damage. Soul wasn't ready, and then from there, he had a huge supply lead.
Huge.
And he closed things out with a 2-0. So Daishi moves on to face Pili Pili in the round of 4. So then the winner of that will have to win one more match to qualify for the group stage.
Yeah, it's a good point that you make there, actually, because we will have 2 more series after this one.
What a day.
So yeah, a lot of StarCraft going down the line here overall. But thank you very much, gentlemen, as we shall now be able to head over to game number 2 here to find out if Elazer can clutch it out and be able to move on to some more festivities.
Festivities ensue indeed, Kalaris. There's not very far away from a big party if he can get this next map against HeroMarine. That means he does qualify and he's done for the day.
Might see some celebratory mules falling from the sky. Yeah, we might see some Zerglings dancing on the other side of things. There's a few different ways this one could go. Of course, Elazer. It's good to see that smile on his face after a little bit of tiltage earlier in the day, a little bit of frustration after his game 1 versus Soul. But he turned that series around, and he's really found strength with the aggressive pressure which he's putting on his opponents. So let's see what he can bring here in map number 2. Our red Zerg player playing from Poland down here in the bottom left-hand side of Proxima Station. It is Elazer.
And in the top right, the Meisterschaft champion. This, from Mouse Esports, is HeroMarine. That is a very strong prescription of glasses that he's wearing right there.
Yeah, he's one of the few people who probably has glasses as strong as mine. We're the kind of level of nerds where, like we wake up in the morning and we wave our hand in front of our face and we go, can't see it until I put my glasses on. We played too many video games growing up, I think.
Yeah, my parents always said that my eyes would turn square if I kept playing all that Nintendo and all that PC growing up, but I guess they were wrong about Perfect 2020, so get wrecked.
Don't hear people saying that to their parents very often, but always good to hear.
Shout out to Mum and Dad if they're watching right now. Nice advice you gave me growing up as a video gamer.
Hey, going back to basics here is Elazer 1 base Ravager Rush. This is the build we've been seeing so much lately. We've been seeing Sue pulling this out in the GSL. Everyone has been doing this. Elazer invented this build back at WESG, was the first time we saw him use it a whole bunch. And he's going to pull it out again. He hasn't really used it a lot recently. I was asking him about it a week or 2 ago, and he was like, yeah, I don't really use that build anymore. But, you know, I'm sure it can work sometimes.
Liar.
Yeah, look at this, man. No SCV scout from HeroMarine. That makes it very hard to hold on.
This actually gives me some horrific nightmares of, like, memories of Legacy of the Void Beta.
Yeah, this is scary. You know, it's funny because there was a lot of like proxy hatch Ravager rushes, and then people realized you could just do a 12-pull Ravager rush and hit faster. You're like, actually, it gets there 10 seconds faster than building a hatchery outside your base. But this Reaper is going to scout it really late. HeroMarine, though, building Marines rather than a reactor, I think that's a really good start to his defense, and a factory is going down as well. So normally for the defense, you need to just get a bunker up, repair it, buy as much time as possible, and get out either a few Cyclones or preferably a siege tank, which you keep very far back from the edge so it can't be corrosive biled.
Yeah, he's actually cancelled. Looks like he was making a reactor there.
Yes! Okay, so this is actually really good. It pulls the barracks back so he can't lose his production, and he should just keep building Marines. Yeah, this is a very well-practiced response from HeroMarine so far, and he's going to build a secondary bunker. That's great.
Yeah, taking it very, very seriously here. Obviously, if he holds, he's in a wonderful spot because this is a one-base Zerg against a Terran that can chill on one base for a while. He's actually getting
dude, this is as all-in as it can get, and this is such a great defense so far by HeroMarine. I mean, these Ravagers are going to come up. They're going to use the Overlord for high ground vision. He does snipe down the SCV that's building the bunker, and nice start. Oh, man, very slow dodge there from HeroMarine. He's already lost a whole bunch of SCVs, actually taking way more damage. Is that bunker going to go down?
And the SCVs go down as well.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, wow. Whoa. HeroMarine not ready for these Ravagers to hit him quite so fast. The Ravagers are roaming free in that main base right now. The bunker actually dishing out a lot of hurt. Those Ravagers standing a little bit close right now. Elazer just a little bit sloppy with that micro, but he's already taken down a lot of SCVs. The first Cyclone is almost about to pop. The bunker goes down. The Marines get focus fired. Elazer with the fantastic micro. It's just SCVs and a single Cyclone about to pop. Great surround from HeroMarine. Wraps through, gets two of those Ravagers down. The Cyclone is out. Elazer's going to have to pull back.
Yeah, HeroMarine's going to hold here. He takes 16 SCVs damage, but does clean up the Zerg force.
And of course, oh my gosh, so this is still really all in from Elazer. No Queen behind this, he hasn't pulled off gas. He's just continuing to make Ravagers. That Cyclone's on the hunt, it wants to get this Ravager. Oh, it's got to get out of there. The other Roaches are coming to save it. Nice micro here from Elazer. Does keep that Ravager alive. It's very important he keeps those alive, because as that count gets higher and higher, they can micro really well against the Cyclones. The Cyclones can't really stutter step very well.
Nah, they're a bit awkward to micro. They're a little bit awkward in general, actually, but they are fantastic at dealing with Ravagers. And it looks like Elazer, you know, he just has to make units. He's making Roaches and Ravagers, and he's just standing there across the map. Got an Overlord
The high ground Overlord, and I don't think there's any other Overlord nearby.
No, there isn't.
Oh, okay, he's got another one there. He's going to need to pull that forward. He's just going to try and force his way up, using the Corrosive Bar to force those Cyclones on back. There's still 4 Ravagers here. One of them in the back on very low life. A third Cyclone is about to pop out. Nice SCV pull from HeroMarine. One Cyclone does fall. The Ravagers, though, falling even quicker. I think HeroMarine might have held on. He's up in work because he's got double mules dropping behind this. Elazer has to make this last push work.
Oh, and as Cyclones come out and the SCV's coming out to repair, I mean, yes, HeroMarine took a lot of worker damage, but we have to keep harping on about it. This is super all in for Elazer. This needs to kill HeroMarine. If he doesn't kill, he loses.
Yeah, this is a really good hold so far. HeroMarine just using that high ground vision. Elazer, where is that Overlord? It needs to get over here. It's finally getting close, but loses a Ravager just for poking forward. And Elazer is in big trouble right now.
He is indeed starting to lose a little bit of steam in this engine here as he moves up, and another Cyclone on the way in this factory. Huge high hit point structure. He is within bile range, and he is going to smack on it. If he can get rid of this factory, he's going to help him out a lot, but he still has to deal with these Cyclones.
He can't lose these Ravagers. He's got to use his micro here. As this Ravager count gets higher and higher, he should be able to out-micro the Cyclones, but he can't keep losing Ravagers. He needs to let this count get higher.
Whoa. Marine going down there. I mean, the Biles are connecting with Marines, but the Cyclones managing to stay out of harm's way for now. Getting a little bit low. 3 Cyclones, so hard to engage for these Ravagers. They do continue to get the onslaught. The other Overlord from the 3rd location is here now, making things a little bit easier for Elazer. They're so low in hit points, though. 2 of these Ravagers very close to dead. One goes down that Cyclone.
Nice. Really good micro here from HeroMarine. Constantly pulling back his weak Cyclones, letting them repair. And this is just great defense. Elazer knows he needs to get damage done because there's just too many units coming out for HeroMarine. But this is just desperation at this point.
Yeah, he's getting damage done with these Biles, but is it going to be enough? HeroMarine just needs to chill. He's on 2 bases. He's got these Cyclones popping out here. He's making more SCVs back at home, locking onto that Overlord to get rid of that high ground again, pulling him away from the ramp, and he does kill the Overlord as well. And Elazer is supply blocked. All he has is his units.
Goodbye high ground vision. Elazer, who is already all in, is now even more forced to just thrust his way up that ramp. Needs to try to overwhelm, but against the raw damage output of the Cyclones, when they can just stand on that high ground and just blast down those Ravagers as they walk up the choke point, it's going to be an easy hold
now,
for HeroMarine.
You may be wondering why ESL and Intel Extreme Masters is being zoom in spanned either there. It's because we have Apollo in the observer seat right now. I've been told from production, so. If you wanted more Apollo in your life, a little bit more Apollo in your StarCraft goodness, well, he is here observing for you guys, just to let you all know at home.
He was playing, he got caught, unfortunately, doing some naughty things with the ESL budgets. He's been dumped down to...
Can't actually afford Funker and Mapu anymore, so...
He's basically just Funker's body double at this point. But, oh my gosh, Elazer with some nice focus fire. Actually takes down a few of the Cyclones, but look at that repair. Look at that repair. The extra SCVs coming. What looks like an almost hold there becomes a beautiful hold.
GG! HeroMarine ties it up. We're going to go to a 3rd game.
HeroMarine knows his response there really well. Knew exactly how to hang on. And this is a map you wouldn't normally see this rush on because the rush distance is not crazy fast between those bases. And basically, if you don't get there really early, things can go very poorly for you. However, I think Elazer there was thinking, you know, it's this greedy map. People like to go command center first here. People like to skip SCV scouts. Maybe I can catch him by surprise.
Yeah.
But we saw HeroMarine was playing very safe with the extra Marines, and there was a moment there where it looked like Elazer was going to break in, but I think the key mistake he made, he just let those Ravagers stand in range of that bunker. There was like, for about 30 seconds, there was always one Ravager accidentally in range of that bunker. He took way too much unnecessary damage there.
Yeah, that is absolutely right, Pig. And we're going to go into 3rd game shortly, but first of all, let's check in with the desk. Kalaris and the boys, take it away.
Thank you very much, friendly Australians, as we do now obviously have that 1-1 situation going on here in this series. And of course, Todd, what we saw there from HeroMarine was very good crisis management overall.
Yeah, as much as I like this build from Elazer, it didn't work against Innovation over in Nation Wars in the final game, and it didn't work here again against HeroMarine. So I guess it doesn't work against Terrans that know how to properly defend against it. And even though it was kind of close, HeroMarine just solid enough in the end to not die to it.
It's one of those builds where, as long as you're staying alive, there's no way for Zerg to recoup after all the. It's too hard for the Zerg to recoup. They just don't have enough drones. But yeah, a lot of it does come down to just, do those corrosive biles connect, and can I keep those Ravagers alive for as long as Zergly possible?
I love it when you start using the word recoup, Tasteless.
Thank you.
Usually things get real from there.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's when you know I got my serious face on.
Isn't he always real? No?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. All right. Well, of course, we do have Rotterdam, who was watching sort of versus Zenster, and you were watching into Game 2, which has concluded.
Yep.
But he's got us a replay to show us. So
Yeah. I really liked it what Atosis did, so I was like, you may as well, you know.
Yeah.
We got a little bit unfortunate with the timing there as the game just ended, but let's take a look at the most important moment here between Sort of and Zenster as the Battle of the North has come to a conclusion. If you guys want to know, how do you Baneling bust this? Well, this doesn't really seem that Baneling bustable, right? Like, no, it shouldn't, but Zenster was like, you know what, I'm going to try. It didn't go very well. That's 6 Banelings, nothing died. Then he's like, wait, I've got more Banelings. He's like, oh, transfuse, oh no. So yeah, this rush didn't go very well. In the end, he did get the Roach Warren, but needless to say, if you are pulling a Todd, you can see that Sort of is 15 workers ahead. And in the end, the Lynx really didn't do all that much. A couple of Lynx got in there in the end, but Sort of was miles and miles and miles ahead of this game. The game went on for a little while longer, but Sort of eventually got a Spire, and Miraz just sealed the deal. So congratulations to Sort of, who is staying alive. And is still on a little bit of a roll in the lower bracket.
Yeah, sort of doing well there. Trump should employ him to build walls. But anyway, for now, we're going to head over into game number 3 to find out who is going to be moving on into the group stage for the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice. Take it away, guys.
It's getting silly and delirious here as we enter hour 20 of day 1. No, it's about. It has been a long day, but we are getting through this lower bracket, guys. We have got, we got HeroMarine versus Elazer in the upper bracket, my mistake, to see who qualifies here along with Thermal. We're all the way to map 3. This one is, as they say in our home country, a bum clencher.
That is a common Australian saying. My grandmother, she's always talking about those sort of events. Anyway, an update from Emil, our famous Polish caster. He actually told us that the build order we just saw, which I said Elazer invented, apparently Matiz, who had the epic game earlier, he was the guy who invented it, but Elazer's the one who's taken it and made it famous. So just a little update there.
There you go. The more you know. In the bottom left here, playing at his home ground of Poland, this is Elazer. The top 4 only foreigner finish for BlizzCon 2016.
I bet he's getting sick of that. We keep saying it.
It's the world final. How can you not bring it up every time he's on a cast?
It was a very impressive result. Of course, he still has to finish it off against this man down here, the German representative. It is HeroMarine.
He is a man pig. Well spotted.
Yeah. Very strong Terran man. Plays the redneck race. Those Terran running around with their guns, and it is tied up 1-1. Whoever takes this next map will be qualifying to the group stage, if I'm not mistaken.
You're not mistaken at all, actually. You're completely correct. So, Elazer looking like he wants to play a little bit more of a sensible game so far. We don't see the Ravager rush here from our young Polish Zerg.
Yeah.
And that second hatchery going down.
And HeroMarine going for just a gas first into a barrack. So this is not like that kind of delayed gas, faster command center build he did in game number 1. Just a much more, I mean, this is basically the most typical build order opening we see at the moment, which is just fast Reaper into Hellions, and then there's about 40 different variations of what the Terran can do off those Hellions. Does he open up Hellion Banshee? Does he go for drops with Hellbats, Liberators? There's a lot of different variations, and I know a lot of the Zerg players have been struggling to identify exactly what they're going up against. It's been a big kind of point of discussion amongst the European Zergs. So Elazer's really going to be very much like focused on his Overlord vision around his base, focusing on trying to scout the follow-up from HeroMarine to try and identify exactly where all of his Queens and Zerglings need to be.
Speaking of Overlord vision, he's going to confirm this Hellion follow-up here for HeroMarine. So the plus side for the Zerg is it doesn't take too long for the Overlord to get over there. A downside is that the rally distance is quite short, which is not sort of a situation you want to be as a Zerg here on Newkirk Precinct.
I wonder which third. It looks like Elazer's going to go for the further away third. I like that one. It's a bit harder to defend from drops, but it's much harder for the Terran to get a frontal push going on your third base.
Yeah, you can reinforce it from the ground. That one there is, you generally, as a rule of thumb, don't want to expand towards the Terran as the Zerg player, and that definitely does succumb to that rule.
Does open up a bit more angle for Hellion Harass, the hyper-mobile kind of multi-prong stuff, so will be interesting to see how this one plays out. Of course, both players just macroing up so far. There is a starport on the way, as well as a tech lab and double Hellion production for HeroMarine.
Drop here, or maybe a switch over for that tech lab. We'll see.
I'd like to see a Viking. I think a Viking is very important on this map because otherwise the Zerg just sees everything. Because there's no Marines out with this build, and whether it be a Medevac, a Banshee, or a Liberator, a Lazer's going to have Overlords watching this like one air path between the two players. So I really would love to see a Viking before anything else. But HeroMarine does know better than me, so I'm sure he has his own preferences.
He's not too bad at StarCraft, that's for sure, and it is actually going to be switched over into the tech lab and a medevac first. So he's going to be ferrying in these Hellions and delaying the Viking for now.
I'd love to see a Liberator right after that and an Armory go down in about 15 seconds.
And the Armory would help him out. I mean, especially considering he's making these Hellions, can turn them into Hellbats, as well as the added benefit of getting that...
This is my favorite opening, actually, in TVZ right now, because it's so flexible. You can hit so many angles with dropping Hellions in the main straight away. This Marine shoos away that Overlord, so this Medevac can boost straight out, drop 3 or 4 Hellions in the main, and if the Zerg isn't there ready for it, if he doesn't spot it coming, he can lose a lot of workers. And yeah, we see that Liberator queuing up. No Armory. So HeroMarine, there we go. Armory does start up. Okay.
A little bit late to the party, but
I love this build. This is just so powerful. Elazer, he's going to have the units he needs to shut this down. The question is, are they going to be in the right position? Already, it looks like there's Zerglings in the main base, so I think Elazer may have identified what he's up against.
Yeah, he's ready for this. The Queen is up there as well. Oh, he's dropping in the darkness. He could take potentially
strike.
That's right. Could potentially take out those Lings before they become too much of a threat.
Yeah, good micro from HeroMarine so far, being nice and annoying. Hasn't found the drones that he'd love to hit, but a good bit of opening pressure here to make Elazer uncomfortable. Elazer is making roaches, which will be very handy against this. The question is, with that spread out third base, will they be in the right position, and will he be ready for that Liberator that's going to pair up for it? So far, Elazer hasn't taken any critical damage.
Do you think having the third up in that location there actually helps him against this kind of push? Because he doesn't have the hatchery at the front. The creep spread's not too bad. He has these extra Queens here, ready to be able to defend that third hatchery.
There's a Spore going up as well. That's actually really good so far, yeah. He's very well set up. Elazer, not trying to cut any corners, droning very slowly here. Nice elevator. 4 Hellbats going to go into that main base. Hellbats at the front and a Reaper as well. The Liberator is going to try and find its way into the back of the natural. It may find an opening while the Medevac drops the main base, hitting every base at once.
Hellbat
is
HeroMarine.
That Liberator's hitting the natural as well. Nice damage starting to go down here, but great Zergling counterattack from Elazer is going to equalize a little bit, and I think that Liberator has gone down now. No, does re-siege in the main base. More drones are starting to go down.
Yeah, but these Hellbats are actually awkwardly walking back to deal with the Lings who did actually break the front door open, and they're starting to get their handful of SCV kills here. The Queens and the Roaches did finally clean up this push of HeroMarine, and what we left here is the Ashes settled.
I think this worked out pretty well for Elazer. He didn't take critical damage. 12 drones might seem like a lot, but now there really isn't a lot that HeroMarine can do to continue pressuring. He's only got 4 Hellions on the map. The one thing he's got going for him, though, is that 1-1 and that third command center about to finish. But with this Roach pressure coming out, HeroMarine has to really respect this. Even if Elazer doesn't commit at all, we're going to need to see bunkers. We see a tank already starting up. All of this slows down HeroMarine's transition.
That's right. He's got the third base at the front here. Bunch of Marines ready for the Zerg attack, but will they be enough? Looks like Elazer could very easily break this wall open again.
Yeah, these Hellions really want to get up here just in case there's a big Zergling flood behind it. You need something to deal that splash damage to light. So both players are going to stabilize. HeroMarine not too far behind on workers. And the big supply difference is mostly roaches, so it's not the end of the world. Nice!
Ooh.
Oh, wow, very ballsy maneuver comes forward. Doesn't manage to get the Liberator, though, so I don't think Elazer can try that again, or he'll just lose way too many units, especially with that tank sieging up.
Yeah, the tank makes things a little bit awkward. He's going to pull back here, and Elazer actually was droning behind this, so he's powering back at home, and he's largely untouched 3 bases for the time being, and this 4th base going up at the very, very north location as well. He hasn't had to deal with any Terran for a while back on his creep, so been able to power forward very nicely here. Baneling Nest, Evo Chamber's going down. He already has +1 Carapace about to finish.
Both players are stabilizing. The big advantage for Elazer right now is the lack of pressure that HeroMarine's able to put on him at this very instant. And you can see, what does that lead to? It leads to this purple goop just spreading all over the map. It is, it's like acne on a 13-year-old, man. It's just going everywhere. There is not enough Clearasil in the world to stop that.
Is Clearasil a brand that's worldwide, or is it just...
Yeah, I think that's worldwide, yeah. Pretty sure it's like a big American brand.
Cool. Don't need to explain anything then.
Yeah, I don't need to like,
the mule.
make the obscure Australian references that only we get.
He's spread too thin like Vegemite on buttered toast. We got the HeroMarine with a double medevac here, Stim Marines. Sorry,
that's so stupid. I love
accidentally
it.
slayed Pig there. So they're going for an attack towards this 4th. Elazer is in position. Lost a couple of Ravages there, though.
Good focus fire.
Yeah,
nice moves
nice.
there. HeroMarine's getting in his groove right now. He really is a macro beast. Does start up his +2 weapons. Needs to get that armor going when he gets enough gas. Of course, those tanks really do drain your gas income. And this is where the game gets kind of interesting. HeroMarine went into siege tanks both for safety, but then also because he wasn't sure if it was going to be a big Roach Ravager follow-up or not. And now he ends up kind of stuck on siege tank tech against Ling Bane as the core focus of Elazer's army. And a lot of the time, you'd actually rather have Widow Mines, but maybe it works out okay since there's no Mutalisks with Elazer's army. There is a decent number of Roaches and Ravagers. It just really slows down the maneuverability of HeroMarine's army, and it really makes positioning very important. He cannot afford to get surrounded by Elazer, or those siege tanks suddenly just become very, very, very poor units.
Yeah. And we're actually gearing towards the late game here as Elazer gets Hive on the way now. Infestation Pit obviously all done. And he has got a lovely creep spread through the middle, a 4th base, and nearly 80 drones. 78 here is Elazer. So he's pretty much just up to him to make units now and get the tech he needs to try and finish off HeroMarine. And HeroMarine with starting to pepper in Marauders, and he has siege tanks, but you know, I would be feeling a little bit nervous still as a Terran as Tier 3 is on the way for the Zerg. It's a very, very scary place to be in TVZ.
And the Hive's still a little while away. I think HeroMarine's really doing a good job of kind of clearing up the creep and trying to prepare the map for his 2-2 push, because that's when Terran wants to fight. It's at this beautiful point where Terran gets a lot of high-tech ranged units together. They've got good upgrades. And that's where you want to do damage to the Zerg before the Zerg gets all those beautiful Hive things like Burrowed Infestors and Ultralisks and all of that. So good play so far by HeroMarine, but that window between 2-2 finishing and Ultralisks hitting the field is going to be very narrow. And HeroMarine needs to get out on the map and start pushing right now. He needs to try and deny that 4th base of Elazer.
Yeah, he hasn't been able to hit the economy for quite a while here, pretty much since the Hellbat push. Elazer's been comfortably sitting on 78 workers on 4 bases here. You're looking at a 5th hatchery soon as well. Look at that income advantage.
Oh, this is really interesting. HeroMarine looks like he's not going to go for the 4th. He's just going to go for the throat. Wants to push towards the natural because he knows pushing up into that north is such a long push path, especially for the immobile siege tanks. Elazer's going to start to push in here, actually. But the siege tanks do shoo him away. You've got to be very decisive dealing with these tank pushes. You can't go in a few units at a time.
Yeah, this run by completely denied here. So nice positioning here for those units for HeroMarine. He's on the creep right now. Very, very dangerous for the Terran. Centrifugal hooks is done. The Banelings are made here, and they're ready for Elazer. It's a cluster of Lings here to the north.
Nice. Corrosive Biles takes down one siege tank. This is what Elazer's got to do. He's got to buy time. He's got to keep forcing the sieges up because he's way down in army supply right now. But he's got a bigger economy. But HeroMarine's not going to give him the time. Huge engagement, pushing in between the rally, cutting off the reinforcements, the tanks, the siege. The entire Terran army is on creep. Elazer's trying desperately to get his flank going. He needs a surround on this. He's going to push in. The Terran army is deep on creep right now.
The Banelings connect with a lot of those Marines, and it looks like he's actually going to clean up at the bottom. But a reinforcement here from the side for HeroMarine. The Marauders and the Marines with Stim starting to clear out the Zerg units.
So many medevacs there. The 2-2 push.
GG and HeroMarine. 2 Terrans from this group going through to the next stage of Intel Extreme Masters Katowice. Well played by the German Terran. Good to see him really in form. Haven't really seen pretty much since Montreal, WCS in Montreal
Yeah.
was the last time HeroMarine really showed the world how good he truly is.
Just, I mean, especially that moment when that Zergling counterattack got in and like killed some SCVs and delayed his command center. I was like, oh, this is that point where most Terran players kind of fall apart because they're like, oh, how do I keep microing my aggression while defending? But HeroMarine, he just pulled everything together. He had those multiple drops cleaning up creep in the mid game, and that push was so decisive. So many Terrans would see all that creep spread and back off, but he knew he needed to make the fight happen right then. And that was just the perfect tank push timing. So well played.
Yeah, very, very well played from HeroMarine. I wish I had a quarter of that skill.
Oh,
the
yeah.
German Terran. Really, really well done. We're going to take a short break, guys, and when we come back, we're going to head over to Kolaris and the boys. So do not go away. More games to come here for Intel Extreme Masters Katowice.